We are here right now with a public prosecutor, Congressman Keith Flores. Magandang hapon po, Congressman.
Ay, good afternoon.
Kanina nag-press ko ng isa sa mga kasamahan niyo po sa public prosecution team, si Congressman Terry Don. Medyo maanghang yung kanyang mga salita after yesterday's proceeding. Sabi niya sa defense team, yan na ba yung best nyo? Galingan nyo pa ng konti. That is in response to how the defense team cross-examined the prosecution's witness, si NBI Regional Director Jeremy Lotok. Is that also a sentiment shared by you or by the entire prosecution team after yesterday's proceedings?
I don't know if it's exactly the same sentiment, but I think we're feeling good naman about what's happening, no? And how things have been turning out. Even with the cross-examination ni Attorney Lotok kahapon, para sa tingin namin okay naman.
But what do you make of the defense's efforts to challenge the credibility not just of Lotok but also the credibility of the NBI investigation itself on the threats against the threats of Vice President Sara Duterte against President Marcos?
If you look at it objectively, what was attacked were very minor things, no? Maling number dyan, misplacement ng date, tsaka typographical errors. It does not in any way attack the credibility or the validity of what has already been testified by Attorney Lotok, no? Sana, if it was damaging, it would have attacked siguro the integrity mismo of the investigation or of the things that said by Attorney Lotok. Pero so far, sa tingin ko, hindi pa naman umabot sa ganun na point.
So you're saying, sir, na yung pagpo-point out ng typographical errors, yung supposed inconsistencies sa dates, sa docketing numbers, sa paningin ng prosecution, it will not be material evidence later on.
It does not take away the fact that the Vice President uttered those statements. It does not take away the fact that the Vice President made those threats. It does not take away the fact that the NBI conducted an investigation and came out with a recommendation that the things mentioned by the Vice President is tantamount to grave threats.
Ang prosecution at times sinasabi nito na it's hoping not just to win in the court of the impeachment court but in the court of public opinion. Now that the camp of the Vice President, the defense team, tried nga to challenge the credibility of the NBI work of the investigation, do you think it has an effect on how the entire optics of the investigation is being perceived by the public?
I don't think so. No, a wrong date, a wrong case number, a wrong affidavit maybe. It does not affect in any way the integrity of the investigation being done by the NBI. Walang effect whatsoever. And again, babalik tayo dun, sinabi ba ng Vice President yun? Di ba? Kung yun ang ma-attack nila at yun ang ma-prove nila na hindi sinabi, hindi ginawa ng Vice Presidente yun, then that would be damaging to our case. But if not, then sa tingin ko, walang impact at all.
Kung relevant ba to the discussion whether or not the hitman actually exists? Kasi kahapon sinabi ni Lotok sa sinagot niya si Senator Judge Bam Aquino na they didn't find validated information na makakatulong sa kanila para malocate yung alleged assassin. So hanggang ngayon, naghihintay pa rin daw sila ng impormasyon. Is that important?
Sa akin, hindi. No? Because if you're the person at the receiving end of the threat, would it matter if it is may totoong hitman or wala? Tapos na tinakot ka na, di ba? Meaning the threat was already made. Di ba? Do you wanna go find out if totoo ba or hindi? Meaning the impact is already there, di ba? So yun ang punto dun no? So whether or not may totoong assassin, nagawa mo na yung threat na ginawa mo, di ba? The person being threatened will not want to wait and find out if it is true that there was an assassin. The effect is already there.
But can you articulate for us, Kong, but how does the threat meet the standards of an impeachable offense under the 1987 Constitution? Because nakalagay doon sa impeachment articles nyo na yung Article 4 related to the grave threats and the inciting to sedition ay constitutes high crime, culpable violation of the Constitution. Maybe, tama ba? Betrayal of public trust also?
Kasi hindi naman it's not a criminal case for grave threats. It's a determination of whether you are fit to hold that position. And determining whether you fit to hold that position also includes whether you violated the constitutional provisions or other laws. No? Example, every public official takes an oath. Before they assume office, we all take the same oath that we will follow the Constitution, obey all the laws. And if you make something like that, then you're already violating the Constitution, di ba? So uh, may impeachable offense na. So, wag lang siguro nating iwala sa mind natin na this is not a case about grave threats in a criminal court. That is not the case. Right now, we're saying that a person who makes threats like that is not suited to be vice president.
The defense team also tried to pursue a line of questioning to sort of project this NBI investigation as being biased against the Vice President and even making efforts to connect the NBI to the Office of the Vice President. Sa ganito bang aspeto, pwede bang sabihin na nabutasan ba ang argumento, ang kaso ng prosecution team?
With the way the cross went yesterday, no, wala. Sorry, but sa tingin ko, wala naman silang nagawa na which would show that again, did or did not the Vice President make those threats, di ba? So, she did. It's no issue at all. No? Nandun na yan na the threats were actually made by the Vice President. Yeah.
Congressman, I know that the prosecution cannot discuss the merits of the case or its strategy in detail, but can you just give us a preview of how a possible redirect examination of LOTOC will go if you will pursue it? What does the redirect intend to show?
Kung mag-redirect man, no?
Kung mag-redirect
Because
man.
that's really up to the handling prosecutor. If may redirect man, they would just show na itong mga inconsistencies na to, date, case number, the dates of other submissions, did it affect the recommendation of the NBI that there were grave threats? If it did not, then it did not destroy the case at all.
How is going now to Zuleika Lopez, because there is a possibility na baka masalang din siya today. How is the prosecution preparing for her testimony? I understand that she will be a hostile witness for the prosecution. Ano yung changes in strategy kahit siguro procedurally lang ano?
No, technically wala naman. She will be treated just like any other witness that we will be presenting. No? We will try to elicit facts from her, and if ang answers niya would be siguro evasive or something like that, then that's the time that we will ask the court that we be allowed to treat her as a hostile witness.
So hindi siya automatic na parang pag-upo niya, you're going to declare her as a...
No.
But is that something that has to be, that you will actively, the prosecution will actively do to establish her as a hostile witness so you can ask leading questions?
It may actively do that if she is evasive, she is not responsive. But if she is responsive and not evasive in answering the questions, then we will pursue it just like any other witness that we will be presenting.
There is a spectacle right now outside this media room. Siyempre, iniintay natin yung pagdating ni Vice President Sara if hindi pa siya dumarating because we're currently here. But how is the prosecution prepared for the optics of that? Ngayong kung sakaling dumating si Vice President Sara dito sa trial, I remember last week ang prosecution ni-raise sa impeachment court yung possibility na pwede nyo bang i-compel si VP Sara na maging witness ng prosecution para sa kanyang paglilitis?
Well, siguro right now, we're beyond optics na no? The trial is already starting. We're now presenting evidence. Optics is just for the show outside of what's happening inside the impeachment court. But what's more important siguro is anong nangyayari inside the impeachment court. So that's what we're focusing on. We'll be trying to present our evidence the best way we can in a way na maintindihan ng not only the prosecutions or the senator judges but also the public na nanonood sa impeachment trial.
Are we still on track to finish the presentation of Article 4 within 11 days? Kasi parang ang bawat witness hindi na lumalagpas ng isang araw yung presentation, Congressman.
Well, I admit na may delays talaga, no? Because supposedly intended for 1 day lang, umaabot ng 2 days. And again, I said that it's because of the technicalities that are being raised, not just by the prosecution but also by the defense. Diba? So that's what's delaying the presentation of the witness. And I hope na as we move along, no, as we go along in the trial, na less on the technicalities, more on siguro allowing the witness to testify No.
But what does that mean, Congressman, in terms of are we going to reduce the number of witnesses na ipepresenta nyo sa korte? If forgo nyo na ba yung ibang nilista nyo? Will you ask for an extension of the presentation of Article 4?
Yung number of days naman, hindi naman yun fixed. That was just a best guess lang na scenario na matapos namin lahat. And I think na may included na doon yung allowances in the delays. So hopefully, tapos pa rin within the time frame that we asked for.